There we go. Me and my loud shirt. Should be everything. Let's get the game up. Probably have a skill point I haven't spent. I guess I leveled up. I guess I have basically everything that matters now. Yeah, I'm kind of tired today, so I decided I would do this instead of anything that requires actual, like, brain power. And I also have a new music playlist. As much as I love DJ the S. Boat. Hiccups. Where am I taking a boat? Why am I taking a boat way up there? You know what? Let's take a boat. Okay. Yeah, as much as I love DJ the S, I do feel bad whenever I use his music for stuff, because, like, it's not... It just doesn't feel right. It's not mine. Which, I mean, I'm still not using my music, but, like, I'm using stuff that at least isn't another content creator's, another YouTuber's, because, I mean, it's all content creation. I now have a few games worth of OSTs. I've got Tulip, because I love Tulip. Currently, it's Star Ocean music playing, and I also have a few Azure Lane tracks in this playlist. I'm gonna add more to it over time. I literally just thought of making it, like making this playlist I'm using, so it doesn't really have much in it right now. It's about 94 tracks. If any of y'all have video game music suggestions that won't get hit by DMCA for me playing them on my stream, I'm taking a bit of a risk with Azure Lane, but when I played Azure Lane, I did not get dinged for any of the music, so I'm kind of hoping that the music is not in YouTube's claim system. Did not see that car there, but in my defense, it should have been in the right lane anyway. But yeah, if any of y'all have any music that you think at least won't get hit by DMCA, I don't mind a few copyright claims. I can eat them. It's not like I make money off of stuff anyway. I'm just worried about Twitch, which is, you know, I mentioned YouTube, but, like, I am more worried about Twitch because their system is a lot worse than YouTube's. Like, everyone thought YouTube's system was bad until they saw what a bad system actually looks like. Brain. I was pushing my cruise control button for my blinker. That's how you know I'm kind of out of it. Perfect time to drive, right? It's when you're tired. That's what you should do. It's not. You should not drive when you're tired. I hope the music is audible, because a lot of the stuff is probably not going to be very audible, which is also kind of working in my favor, I suppose. But what I really need to do, though it's going to be a lot of work, is get all of this stuff downloaded so I can play it via, like, VLC or something, and then not have to worry about YouTube pausing the music. Plus, then I should actually be able to set up a plugin or something to say what track is actually playing, which would be really nice. Because, like, I got a lot of empty space around the screen that I could use for that kind of thing. Boat. And the game crashed. Why is my game crashing? Oh yeah, it already crashed on me once. You know what, let's... maybe? Let's try this again. Maybe it won't crash if I DX11 it. I don't know. I'm pretty sure I turned the scaling back down. Yeah. I have no idea where I am, but... oh, I haven't even... yeah, it didn't even get to auto-saving. So I gotta make that whole trip again. Boat. But, like, it would be nice to have a playlist to, like, display the track title. Not a playlist, a plugin. I can speak. My brain do a good thunk. I don't even know why I'm tired. I really shouldn't be. I slept. I mean, I can't say I slept well. I never sleep well. But... I slept. I slept basically from, like, effectively around, like, 8 o'clock last night till, like, 6 in the morning. So... this is a really bad spot. I also get the feeling that my headset is dying. Which kind of sucks. This headset was expensive. But I keep getting little, like, sound crackle popples. Rain, we need to finish our thought from earlier. If anyone has any, like, video game OSTs that they feel would work for the background, like, suggest them to me on Discord. In the Discord channel, there is actually a music channel, so feel free to just post them there. And anything I like the sound of, I'll add to the playlist. If I don't like the sound of it, I'm not going to add it to the playlist. It's basically as simple as that. If I like it, it'll go in. If I don't, it's not going to. And I would prefer if they can be on YouTube for now. Because currently it is just a YouTube playlist, though. I will probably at some point sit down and actually get all of them downloaded. Man, that bush is really in the way. You know what, little car? I do not care. I want this boat. Now, don't crash, game. There we go. I honestly don't know if it's hardware issues or just the game is randomly buggy now where it wasn't before. Because, like, I'd never really had an issue with this game crashing running my old 1650. But on the AMD card, I am having issues. So, like, I don't know if it's issues with AMD. I doubt it, because you don't really see anyone complaining about it. But... and usually, if there's a problem with, like, a graphics driver, people are gonna complain. It's just what they do. Yes, Dynamite. That is the name of this track. I need to get more of the Star Ocean OST in here. And Legend of Dragoon. It's got some good music. Get some of its OST up in here. You know, game, I don't feel like either of those were my fault. I feel like that little gold car really should have, you know, stopped. Given I am a truck going at highway speeds. I kind of also want to at some point replay through Star Ocean Second Story / Second Evolution for my YouTube. Because that's another thing that I feel like I could do so much better. That series was very awkward because I was very awkward, like more than I am now. Like, I'm still pretty awkward at this whole making content thing. But I was really awkward when I first started getting into making YouTube content. Which is one of those things that's kind of annoying to me because, like... one of my most popular videos on YouTube is my Earthbound Episode 1, where I'm incredibly awkward. Love Atlantis. I mean, it was an alright ending, I just don't buy 90% of it. Like, I don't buy that any of the Scions are dead. I don't buy that Minfilia is dead, dead. You know, she's a Scion. I don't buy that, the Sultana's dead. You know, the only one I believe is dead is the little guy that Raban killed. I'm apparently now a wanted criminal. At the very least, wanted by the Brass Blades and Crystal Braves, yet, you know, I can go to the old headquarters. I mean, I can't go inside the Mor Dhona headquarters, but I can stand outside and they don't do anything about me. I can go to Ul'dah, no problem. Like... it's just one of those things of, like, world-wise, it does not make any sense that I could still go to Ul'dah or Mor Dhona. It is nice to finally be done with A Realm Reborn, though. Like, it's kind of the thing with almost every character that's died throughout A Realm Reborn. I don't buy it for a minute. Like, there's only really two characters I fully believe that have died that are actually dead and gone. And that's the Ascian, and that's only because the other Ascians, like, the other Ascians basically confirmed he's dead. Like, if that cutscene hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have bought that one either. And, like I said, the guy that got cut in half. Like, those are the only two I really buy that are dead. Man, this background track is really quiet. Yeah. The one that gets sucked into the white crystal. Got destroyed by the power of white privilege. I really shouldn't make jokes like that, but I don't care. I have made it into Ishgard, and I have gotten Astrologer. I have done that. I've done the first quest of Astrologer. I was just really tired at that point yesterday, so I kind of had to end the stream off before I really got into it. Same as I'm really tired today. Though I really shouldn't be tired today. My brain is just like, tired? I mean, I never really had an issue with the voice acting, other than there was a lot of cases where it felt like there should have been voice acting, that there just wasn't. Honestly, the whiplash of going from the trap having one voice to suddenly having a new voice was quite the whiplash. I actually feel like I'm gonna turn up my music. Hold on. I'm not gonna turn it up much. Just so it's actually kind of there. I mean, a lot of the voice actors were the Dynasty Warriors crew, which I just find funny, because a lot of them are just doing their Dynasty Warriors voices. I literally turned up the music and this track seems even quieter. Gods. I think what I will do... Hold on. It might be a little loud at times now, but... So hopefully be a bit better. Kind of obsessive about audio levels, because I want things to be audible. But I don't want the music to be too loud. Yeah, as it stands, I'm effectively just weighing how... I'm basically keeping track of how many views the Final Fantasy XIV streams gets. And I may, depending on how they perform between now and basically the end of Ishgard, I may end up buying the game in a subscription and continuing for a bit. I don't know if I'll do everything, but... I do gotta try to think about views, so... Like, if I ever want this whole streaming thing to ever be anything other than just something I do to kill time, I do kind of need to do things people want to actually watch. So I might play around with other Final Fantasy games as well. And other just MMOs, because I just like doing MMOs. I like playing them. I know my girlfriend and I have thrown around the idea of playing through a few other MMOs together for the stream / my YouTube channel. Which is also a case of, like, I do imagine had, like, her and I played through A Realm Reborn together, we may have ultimately had more, like, I may have had more fun, but at the same time, she had no interest in playing the game, so... How is the audio level on that? It might be a little loud, but eh. I should add some Uncharted Waters OST stuff to this playlist. Excuse me, game. That was not my fault. I'm just getting all the traffic violations. And basically none of them have been my fault. I mean, yeah, I shouldn't have been pulling in around that car, but maybe they shouldn't be pulling into a literal truck stop area where you just kind of sit there. I swear, if the Tulip music gets dinged. I doubt it would, though. Especially because, like, I've played through Tulip before and it never got dinged. And if it was gonna get dinged, it would have got dinged from me playing through it. Though I suppose that was also before Twitch changed their frickin' copyright system. Or more so, added one. Guess I'll just go 105. It's the safest way to make sure I'm not gonna overtake. We'll end up ramming into one of these other vehicles. At least until the limit drops to 105 or lower. Because thank you, AI, for driving slower than the limit. A lot. Man, any of the tracks from the Star Ocean OST just give me the biggest wave of nostalgia. Star Ocean's second evolution was, well, the second story. Second evolution was the PSP remake. Second story was my childhood. I loved that game. I still do love that game. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time. With probably one of my favorite battle systems of all time as well. Because basically, how the combat works in Star Ocean, at least the first two Star Oceans, I mean, it kind of works like that in the later Star Oceans, too. But you're basically in, you know, it's a standard JRPG. But then when you enter battle, you're basically put into a pseudo 3D arena in the first two games. Because it's still 2D, but it's 3D, 2.5D. You can move up and down, so it's technically 3D. But, and your party of 4 melee characters have 2 killer moves / special arts that are on the L and R buttons. And mages still work like regular mages. You press triangle, you cycle to magic, you select the spell you want to cast. In the remakes, you can set spells to L and R. And it's an full active battle, and unlike a lot of RPGs around the same era, which were basically just Final Fantasy. Of, active time bar, but it's still very much turn-based, it's slow. You have a lot of time to think about what you're doing. Then with Star Ocean 2, you basically you think on the fly because everything it's a lot faster, and in a lot of the harder fights, you feel that. Gabriel with no limiter is very difficult. It's probably one of, if not the hardest boss fights in any game ever. I love how so far this playlist that I have is basically just childhood nostalgia, and Azure Lane. Uh, I really need to actually, I should have thought of making this playlist a lot sooner. That way I could have a lot more things on it. So I'm just sitting here like, man, I could put Final Fantasy 4 and 6 OSTs on here too. Field of Need. The part of Star Ocean where it starts to get kind of difficult. And you gain the ability to fly. You know, after some time anyway. And unlike the standard MMO thing, not MMO, JRPG thing where you get an airship, in Star Ocean you get a freaking giant biomechanical bird. Because, you know, what else could you possibly want? Thought you were gonna get an airship? Nah. Birds. Birds are where it's at. Well, I suppose yours isn't biomechanical. Yours is one of the last natural versions of this bird. Because to say energy need is a properly biodiverse planet is incorrect in many ways. It's actually basically none of those things. It's not even really a planet anymore. Apologize for yawning so much. I really shouldn't be tired. I should not be tired for like another 5 hours at least. I might try plugging my headset into a different USB port. That might also be part of my problem that I'm having with my headset. Because, like, the computer case I have, I don't know if I have it listed in the down below bit of Twitch or not. I need to actually get around to adding my computer specs to YouTube, because I actually have a computer to be proud of now. The case is not great, so I would not be surprised if the front USBs are just not great. The problem is, this wonderful Corsair headset, great sound, kind of bad microphone, painfully short cord. I literally could not plug it into the back of the computer without moving the computer, which I may have to do. Like, I'm already almost at the end of the cord's length, and it's literally plugged in basically just behind the where the webcam is physically setting. That is how short this cord is. I didn't think it would ever be an issue, but it turns out, yeah, it's kind of an issue. I mean, on my old computer, it wasn't an issue. The irony is, for about the money I spent on my fancy Corsair headset, mouse, and keyboard, I probably could have upgraded my old computer and not needed to buy this new computer. But I wanted the fancy new headset, mouse, and keyboard. And, like, the mouse and keyboard are great. And the headset, like I said, sounds great. It's a beautiful surround sound headset. But the problem is cord. And, like, for a while, I had a USB extender cord. Specifically, this cord right here. But, yeah, it stopped working. Like, the cord, like, the headset was just connecting and disconnecting a lot, which made it wholly unusable. And, like, I would love to just go and buy male to female USB extender, but the problem is most of them on places like Amazon or Best Buy or any of the places around me, like even Walmart when they do have them, they're all like 3 meters long, and I don't need or want that much cord. That would degrade the audio signal, and I don't want to degrade the audio signal of my expensive headset just to have more cord. Really, game. Those audio crackles are making me sad. I hope they're not coming through on, like, the stream. Because that would be an even worse problem to deal with. Because that would presumably mean that the sound chip of my motherboard is dying. Which would kind of suck, given this motherboard is basically brand new. Though at the same time, I have no doubts that I may have screwed something up. Why is everyone so slow? What is going on? Oh, it's one of this. Little blue car. I was kind of here first. Of course. Guys, I'm just gonna sneak right on past you. Freaking dry skin. I apologize, I do that a lot. It's one of the disadvantages of having the webcam. So y'all get to see me getting annoyed by my dry skin. Ah, Zombie Mika's theme. It's sad, but it's sad for a reason. It's because Zombie Mika's kind of a sad character. Oh boy, Roadwork! My favorite! Said probably every American ever. May as well get down to 89 now. Or less, because thank you, truck, for pulling out and being very slow about it. Let me guess, pull in for a weight inspection? Yep. I really should just turn that off. It's so annoying. Are these actually things that exist? That is something I've questioned before, but I still question, because no one has ever actually told me if these things really exist. Like, I imagine if they do, they're an attempt for, like, to combat, like, smuggling. But, like, if they weigh in tons, then that just means if you're gonna smuggle, you just need to add less than half a ton worth of stuff. And then bam. Really? And now I'm gonna watch that same thing happen again, probably. Yep. You know what? I'm just gonna drive on the shoulder for a bit. Or I guess I don't have to. Whoa. Whoa. Game. That was not my fault, game. My truck gained a mind of its own. Pretty sure it's because I do have this, wireless. But at the same time, you'd think if that was the case, then it would have stuck on whatever my input was, not randomly decided left! Yeah. Because I wasn't inputting anything. Fun City! Oh man, contacting the alien. Bismarck's Last Stand. The Azure Lane theme that I probably have the most memories around. Partially because that event was... that was something else. Controller, stop! Jesus Christ. Okay, hold on. I need to... This is why I left the cord plugged in to the computer. It's about to lose the controller, but... So I gotta set this stuff up again, but... And yeah, I use Simple Automatic because... Why? Why are you... Why are you like this, controller? Hold on. Oh, well now it's just... recognizing it, I guess. Hold on. Okay, it's... Which also means I need to reset some of these. I mean, the wireless is nice, but... If it's gonna start doing that, then... realistically can't use it. And hey, now at least I have Rumble again. That's one thing that didn't work with the Bluetooth, was the Rumble didn't work at all. But yeah, Bismarck's Last Stand, this theme that's playing. Not only do I have all the memories of that event, which was just emotional and good. It basically seemed to be Yoastar responding to the Contact Collection developers, basically bashing the game, saying that, one might cry while playing Contact Collection, but Azure Lane was just waifu collecting, basically. And their response seemed to be Bismarck's event, which... yeah. No one was emotionally ready for that event. But I also have a World of Warships memory tied to this theme. Because I was playing a battle in Warships at one point and just listening to music. And I was playing Bismarck. And basically my team utterly fell apart around me, leaving basically just me standing alone. And this theme started playing. Like, my playlist swapped to this theme. Which was so fitting. Thanks, YouTube. I just got done being paused, but I guess I gotta pause again. Say that the Azure Lane event that's literally going on right now, I don't think anyone was emotionally prepared for this event. of which where this event is still ongoing. I do not want to say anything about it because I don't want to spoil anything to anyone who might play Azure Lane and may care about the current event and has yet to have a chance to play it. Oh, truck, you stopped way too sharp there. Right, I keep forgetting this thing's actually analog. That's why it stopped so hard. The whiplash on the background music's gonna be really high for a while. You vehicles want to go so I can pull out? Bunny races. Horse races for young me. The unique reward from bunny races was something you really wanted to get, but also you're gonna outgrow very quickly. That being the bunny shoes. They make you very fast. Like, very, very fast. But there are also boots that actually have stats on them that make you very fast that you get not long after. So really, they're not that helpful, but, you know. Having extras is always nice. Boise. We're entering Boise, Idaho. My throat is really not having a good day today. Like, I would speed up here, but the fact I can still see the other vehicles ahead of me, and I'm only going 72, tells me that they're going far lower than the limit. Because they're only minorly gaining on me. And here's the limit coming back down to 72 anyway. Yeah, I should grab some fuel. If I even can. I think what I'll do is I'll get the fuel and then I will back out instead of trying to pull the boat through. Definitely wasn't the best way to go about that, but that's how I went about it. Oh, the beginning of the end of Tulip. So many of the songs in this playlist so far, like, I have various levels of experience with, like, stories with, I should say. Because some of them are just fun nostalgia, because it's a game I played a lot as a kid. Like, Star Ocean, a lot of the tracks from it. But a lot of Tulip, like, I know exactly where the songs are. Oh man, achievement unlocked, 45th parallel. Oh, that's a sharp turn. Yeah, thinking of Final Fantasy, I gotta say, I do not like the city of Ishgard. It's... The more I think of it, I think I actually dislike it more than Limsa. But I imagine I would probably dislike Limsa more if I had actually spent more time in Limsa. Just the fact that I know I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time in Ishgard, and the city is that badly laid out, like, and it's just confusing and a mess. And why are you going so slow, truck? This is a 105 zone. Why are you going like 50? That's not the button. I don't remember what button my actual horn is. It's like, this thing is like a nun farting in a tuba. That's not a horn. Ain't that. I want to see. Hold on. N. That's the button. That's the button. Far better than that. Catching up on that truck again. Man, I love cruise control. Though, thinking of random car features, there's one thing that I feel like a lot of automakers, some of which happen to also be billionaires that own Twitter, grossly overestimate when it comes to like lane assist and self-driving cars and such. Those vehicles are dependent on the road, like the lines on the road being there. And, yeah, if any of y'all are ever in a place like Nova Scotia, you'll know those lines are rarely ever actually on the road outside of major cities. Like in the small, like tiny cities, most roads don't have lines because they wear off and replacing them costs money. So they just never get replaced. Same with, like, crosswalks and such. You gotta watch for the signs hanging from power poles, because otherwise you don't really actually know where those are. Because, well, the lines wear away. It's funny how that works. boy, I'm about to have to pull in again. There's more wait stations. Oh, I can bypass this one, can I? I'm almost tempted to pull in just out of spite. So I want to do a minor rant about something. So I used to use Malwarebytes a lot as like a go-to secondary virus scan, basically. And man, does Malwarebytes kind of suck these days. Like, I mean, it's still detects things. That isn't the problem. The problem is, like, say you want to acquire programs of less than legal nature. You know, you want to get yourself some ROMs, some ROM Space Knights. There's a few websites that are commonly used for hosting those files, and one of them is Mediafire. I guess a lot of people downloaded sketchy things off of Mediafire because now, when you try to go there with Malwarebytes installed, it prevents you because you might be attempting to download a potentially unwanted program. Like, what? Like, yeah, there's things on that website you may not want to download, but let me go there and download the things I want to download. I will take the risk once I get it. And the main thing that really sealed the deal of me getting rid of Malwarebytes, because I have gotten rid of it now. I have other various virus scans instead. The main thing that sealed the deal was that I couldn't get it to agree that I was allowing Mediafire. After a while, I suppose, after a while I got it to accept the main website, the exact download page I was going to. Past that, nah. I couldn't get the actual, like, download link to work, because it was blocking that, because pup. It's like, why? I'm literally telling you to allow it, and it's like, yeah, but pup. Which, I mean, like, it's a good thing. Because, like, preventing people from downloading things that could harm their computer is good. That is a good thing. But Malwarebytes really needs to learn how to listen when you tell it that you want to do something. Like, a better solution in my books would be to have a tick box within Malwarebytes that you can tick, and basically have it, instead of outright blocking things, ask you. Have it be like, hey, so we see you're trying to go to this place. Are you sure? You sure, buddy? That way you can be like, yeah, I'm pretty sure. That's where I'm trying to go. It also has a lot more pop-ups than it used to. Like... Which, there is a level of irony to that. Because... part of the definition of malware is that it pops up unwanted notifications on your screen, generally prompting you to spend money, which is exactly what Malwarebytes does. You know, the anti-malware tool. It basically acts like a piece of malware. Uninstalling Malwarebytes is also a pain in the ass. Because, like, it has one of those really obnoxious uninstallers where it's like, oh man, please tell us what we did wrong so we can promptly ignore it. You know, please tell us what we did wrong of these predetermined statements. And, you know, or there's an other section of which we will promptly ignore. We're gonna ignore the other ones too, but, you know, if the unpaid interns see that there's too many of something, we might look into it. But, like, there's also a thing of, like, I was using the free trial because I basically just was like, you know what, I just want to see if I've possibly infected my computer with anything. And I was using that. And as you're attempting to uninstall the free trial, it's like, well, would you like to just convert to the regular version? It's like, no. No, I wouldn't. I'm trying to uninstall you. And it's like, yeah, but... reasons. It's like, no. No, I'm trying to remove you because you're not being helpful. Like, it's kind of the same as, like, CC Cleaner. Like, that program used to be so good, and then it basically became malware. It became that which it sought to get rid of. Same with Malwarebytes. I'm just glad more programs don't take the WinRAR route of things. Of like, oh man, this is totally a free trial. Except it isn't, and realistically, you never have to pay for this, but every time you open me, I'm gonna be like, hey, your free trial is expired. You wanna, like, pay some money? Which gets very annoying very quickly. But WinRAR is kind of the best unzipping program. Maybe that's just me having used it my entire life. But I like WinRAR anyway. Even with its weird quirk of being like, yeah, your trial, it's expired. You wanna give me some money? It's like, nah, WinRAR, I really don't. It's like, oh, okay. Well, go about your day. You extracted your stuff. It's like, thank you, WinRAR. Honestly, a lot of computer programs have basically become malware. Mostly because, you know, if they don't, they probably aren't going to sell very well. If they have a free trial anyway. I do miss the days of LimeWire. Those were chaotic days. When you would basically punch in to download something and... well, there was a pretty decent chance that what you were getting actually wasn't what you were downloading. And sometimes it would be. Which I'll always find a little ironic that the biggest complainers about LimeWire was the music industry. The music industry that, let's not forget, a lot of artists pirate a lot of stuff. Like, a lot of rap music got its start by pirating backtracks or background tracks. Like, and yet you'll find those people being absurdly loud when it comes to people pirating their music. So they're allowed to do it, but you're not. You know, rules for thee, but not for me. I mean, voice crack. I will always be a proponent of piracy. Mostly because, like, it's kind of the same as with, like, ad blockers. Someone who, in general, is going to pirate something was probably never going to buy that thing. And if they were going to buy it, they're going to still buy it even after pirating it. So, like, it's kind of where, like, Video Game Dev Tycoon really fails in its messaging of, like, oh man, you know, with their own torrent of their game that basically is a special build of the game that you automatically lose after so many days because there's too much piracy. It's like, yeah, but see, that's unrealistic. A game would never get pirated to that degree. Unless it's just really bad. And I mean, if the game is that bad, then it kind of deserves to die off. Like, because a lot of people who pirate games would not have bought them in the first place. Like, there we go. I'm trying to think of an actual example. Oh, well, here's an example. I, many years ago, pirated, mostly so I could try it, one of the more, at the time, modern Call of Duty games. I had, and still have, no interest in buying a Call of Duty game. my having pirated it meant nothing. Because I wasn't going to buy it. Ever. May as well fill it just-in-time delivery. So, like, the argument that me pirating it was in some way bad, well, that doesn't really hold water because I wasn't going to buy the game, so realistically, nothing happened. Let's do this one. Oh, it's right from this place. I don't know what I just hit, but... Oh, a lot of those are from right here. Okay. Thank you, YouTube. Yeah, let's do this one still. This is the music that plays when you take a bath. A perfect bath. Well, I mean, the goal is to take a perfect bath. Left faucet, right faucet, left faucet, right faucet. Balance on bucket. Then you get into the tub, wait till your eyes open. That's how you do it. Assuming I didn't get the left and right back mixed up. It might be right faucet, left faucet. But I think it's left, right, left, right. And you balance on the bucket. And then you get in the tub. And then you wait till your eyes open. And then you are clean and pure and kissable. And that's how it works. I do not make the rules. And it's just the rule of Long Life Town. Need a drink. I do not feel like going and grabbing coffee at this exact moment. Oh man, the song that plays after you sync click. Can't say you don't sync click, because that city is perfectly fine until you show up. I should go and get some coffee. Might help me stay awake longer. Who am I kidding? I shall be right back. I am back. I should actually get OBS up so I can actually, in real time, see. See, my changes. That way I know in real time if I push the wrong button. Because I don't really have these G keys labeled, they're just G keys. I do have to say, though, it feels really nice to be able to look over and see just all the follows in the activity feed. I mean, there hasn't actually been terribly that many. In 22 days, there's been 1, 2, 3, 6. But, you know. That's not supposed to be that. I was pushing the wrong button anyway, but... Um, there we go. I'm going to Spooktown. Is that where Spookston lives? It's one of those cases. If I had the ability to actually play War Thunder and play it decently well, I'd probably do some War Thunder content, and I would probably try to see about like doing collabs with a few of the War Thunder YouTubers I really like. Which, I mean, there's only two of them, being Spookston and Oddballs. But, you know. Spookston just seems like a really chill guy. But, you know, I'd want to actually be a decent size before I really even start asking many creators to collab on anything. Because, like, I'm not bringing anything to the table as it stands. I've got less than 1,000 followers between Twitch and YouTube. And that's with a lot of people that follow me on YouTube also following me on Twitch, so they kind of double up. Man, it really likes those Azure Lane tracks. I think it's played almost all of them in the playlist. I suppose, to be fair, it's probably played through the entirety of the playlist in length by now, because I'm not sure I have 2 hours worth of music in there yet. Managed to finding Azure Lane music to put in this playlist is, a lot of the OST stuff for Azure Lane people extend, so most of it's like 10 to 30 minutes, and I really don't want a single track being that long without good cause, so... Like, if it's like Kefka's theme, like his battle theme, basically Six's final boss theme, yeah, that can be over 10 minutes, because that song itself is like 20 minutes long. However, like, this doesn't need to be that long. This is, yeah, this is already looped. What is this spaghetti road? How do you Americans deal with this? I say, you know, I criticize the spaghetti road, but I've made worse roads in City Skylines, so... That's actually a game I should actually try playing on my new computer here, because I know on my old one, it would chug after I got to a decently sized city. But at that same time, like... my old computer was kind of underpowered, so... And I mean, it was also probably underpowered, even for the hardware it had, just because of all of the bloatware Dell put on it. Though, I mean, at the same time, I did uninstall 99% of that. Like, I left, I think, one thing. No, I didn't even leave that. I deleted all the Dell stuff. So yeah, no, I had no bloatware left after a while. But during the time I was playing City Skylines, I had yet to do that. Which, like, as much as I like Dell because of just fond memories of, you know, them basically providing me computers, I don't like their bloatware at all. That's gonna ask me to pull in, isn't it? No. Like, there's realistically no reason for all the bloatware they put on things. I mean, like... I think my sister's computer has, like, 3 or 4 different control panels. All of which are Dell-specific. Like, they could just combine all of these if they really want you to have all these things. But the problem is, like, they're also redundant and just kind of pointless. And, like, Dell aren't the only ones that do bloatware. My motherboard, my Gigabyte motherboard, installed the Gigabyte Control Center, as well as a couple other just bloatware type things that I've yet to get rid of because they really just don't matter. Like, there's one I got rid of. But that's just because it wasn't doing anything. But it was constantly giving me pop-ups, and that's the quickest way to get me to uninstall your program. It's also something that I have to give Windows 11, because Windows 10, and I know this because, well, there's people still in this house that run Windows 10. Since I bought my computer and put Windows 11 on it, Windows 10 has updated like 4 or 6 times. My computer has updated once. So... No, it was twice. I've had 2 updates. So yeah, Windows 11 is definitely better about updates. Which, you know, was how my old computer ended up with a very, very outdated version of Windows 10. Was because Windows 10 likes to update way too bloody much, and I literally went in and disabled the Windows Update service. It was incapable of updating. Which, to do that, you also have to disable the Windows Update repair service. Otherwise, it will just turn itself back on, because that's the point of that service. Hello, Soccer News. Is the news you have that man fell down pretending his leg hurt when it didn't? Because it's pretty soccery. I say as someone who used to play soccer. Not outside of, like, elementary school, but that's mostly just because we couldn't afford for me to continue playing soccer. Thank you for following the Moonshine Gaming. Low ass truck. I beep at thee. Okay, other truck. I was gonna let you continue, but if you're gonna slow right down, then... Yeah, I honestly don't know why people put up with programs that do a lot of pop-ups. I also don't know why people are so anal about keeping their windows up to date. Like, both of those kind of connect with each other, because, like, as I mentioned with my old computer, not long after getting it, I disabled Windows Update in its entirety, because I just simply could not care. Like, the argument was always like, oh man, like, your computer's at risk, like, you need to update it for security updates. It's like, well, okay. Maybe I just am the one that doesn't understand. But theoretically, a bad actor trying to compromise people's computers is going to be using a method that is going to target the most people. So they're going to be using whatever security flaw is currently on your version of Windows. So my version of Windows from, 4 years ago, if it doesn't have that flaw, well, now I'm safe. And if it does have that flaw, well, congrats, modern computers have it too. Yeah, I still had all of the other flaws that had been fixed by then, but theoretically, those aren't being targeted. Because why would they be? The vast majority of people, especially because of how Windows 10 works, and Windows 11 by extension also works this way, the vast majority of people have updated their Windows. So why would a bad actor continue to target an exploit from 4 years ago? Especially where a lot of the exploits that get fixed in security updates are caused by previous security updates. Like, that security flaw may not exist in that older version of Windows. What the... I did not hit the parking brake. But okay. I guess I did. That couldn't have felt good for the truck. Oh, I have to yawn. Ugh. Let's see if I can not push buttons with this cord. That's why I went wireless with this thing in the first place, was so that I wasn't push buttons. Well, like, once again, maybe I am the one that truly does not understand how, bad actors go about attacking people's computers. But, like, I don't see how not updating your Windows is that big of a security risk. Especially if you don't go on sketchy websites. Like, I am positive there are backdoors to Twitch and YouTube and Google and Facebook and, the non-sketchy websites that bad actors probably exploit. But they probably have to be targeted attacks. And I'm nobody. Like, that's one of those things of, like, why I can't exactly get behind the people who are like, oh, when you're not, when you're not using them, you should unplug your microphones and your webcam and make absolutely sure people can't spy on you through them. It's like, but who is going to spy on me? I am nobody. It's the same as, with the thing of like, oh man, there's FBI agents watching you all the time. No, there isn't. Maybe if you're actually someone of interest, sure, but that's less than 1% of people. And like, you might be like, oh, that's just a joke. There are some people that legitimately believe that. Like... It is a conspiracy theory just like all the others. So, like, I don't understand why people get so anal about, oh, you have to keep your Windows up to date. Especially because, well, Microsoft themselves prove that, nah, you really don't. Because they have their long service branch of Windows that gets a Windows update every, like, few years, maybe, if that. And is usually used in high-value operations. Like, the long service branch is generally used on Windows-based servers. That those servers handle a lot more data and are generally targeted a whole lot more, I think I can stay in this lane, than someone's personal computer would be. I don't remember what 55 equals, so 89. Oh, I have to stay over here anyway. I mean, that version of Windows also tends to be supported for a lot longer than the regular versions of Windows do as well. Which also tends to play into the, you know, they really don't have to kill off Windows when they do. They just kind of feel like it. Now, I'm not one of those people that I'm like, man, Windows 7 or Windows XP, like, I do see the benefits to newer versions of Windows. I honestly do. There's a lot of changes that I don't like. That's not to say I like everything about newer Windows. But going back to even Windows 7 on an old laptop I have, man, do I miss the new Task Manager so much whenever I go back to 7. That's like the only good thing that came out of 8 was that Task Manager. But like Windows 10 runs better than Windows 7 just does. It's the performance of the operating system is better. The forced updates are worse. But to be fair, it's kind of one of those things if you gotta take the good with the bad. Because at the same time of, you know, the forced updates being bad, I'd rather have the forced updates and the new Task Manager than no forced updates and old Task Manager. Though even then, that's not to say the new Task Manager is flawless. It still has its problems. Specifically on Windows 11. The removal of the physical end task button is not a good one in my mind, or my opinion, but you know. So I mean, you know, you would think with my my dislike of updates and a lot of things with Windows, so like I would switch to using Linux, except no, Linux seems worse. Like I am very much in the camp of I tolerate Microsoft, I hate Apple, and Linux is not ready. Like that is the camp I am in. So like I will use Windows. I have hiccups. I don't mind Windows. I greatly dislike Apple, both on a philosophy standpoint and just product-wise. And Linux is, as an operating system, is not fit for my purpose. Like, a good and easy example that I have mentioned many a time before is that if I were to migrate to Linux, I would still need a virtual machine running Windows so that I can edit videos. Because my video editing software, which I have paid money for, being Sony Vegas, is not supported on Linux. Which kinda defeats the purpose of swapping to Linux if I have to still have Windows kicking around so that I can use basic programs. I also, while I do have the knowledge and ability to fiddle with things, and I have a basic programming knowledge, I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty with a program and mess with things and play around with things. I'd rather programs just work. I don't want to have to fix someone else's problem. Which is one of my big issues with Linux, is almost everything is you fixing everyone else's problem. Or in a lot of cases, it's like, oh man, this program doesn't work. Oh, better go download the Windows emulator. It's like, or you could just download Windows and throw Linux in the trash until it's actually ready to be used. Like, I've said it many times. I honestly do feel like all of the various branches of Linux, the developers of all of them, should come together and work on one version. Rather than having 50 to 60 different versions and flavors of Linux, all of you come together and make one. That way you might actually have a fully functioning operating system. But the problem with that is that a lot of these various Linux developers don't agree with what each other does. Because there's some of the Linux developers that are all for making a proper Windows-like operating system. And then there's others that want to basically still be using DOS and want everything to be command line, and you do everything in the console instead of this funny thing called a graphic user interface or a GUI. Like, can't have that. Why would you want a desktop? Why would you want something that isn't just putting text into a box? And those... Yep, YouTube has paused me again. How dare it pause Tulip. But like those branches of Linux development do not get along in the slightest. Well, I suppose they do. They get along to the point of they both use Linux. That's about it. Because they both fundamentally want different things out of Linux. the thing that they're not realizing is that you could realistically have both at the same time. Like, the command line ain't going anywhere. So you could have your GUI, and you could also have the command line. So if you want to do everything purely command line, you can. If you don't, you don't have to. I am being that truck right now. Oh god, a wait station. Let me guess, I need to pull in. No, I can bypass it. Cool. It's exactly what I wanted to hear. Those, lampposts aren't working. Hey, happy little parade. The second credits theme. Which effectively is a YouTube poop before YouTube poops were a thing. Yeah, it's as you can tell, I'm decently passionate about operating systems. Mostly because, like, I want Linux to be good. I want to be able to say, yeah, it's something I use, you know. But I honestly, like, I don't see Linux getting there until more developers group together and actually work on making a basically Windows-like experience. Because that's really what Linux needs. It also needs, you know, compatibility, which is kind of a double-edged sword. Or more of a catch-22, I should say. Or 21? 22? I don't know which it is. Because the problem with compatibility is no one uses Linux. So no developer wants to put the time and effort into building compatibility for Linux. But no one uses Linux because there's no compatibility. Like, when you have to resort to, this program's kinda good enough, or use an emulator, just to use programs on Linux, that creates problems. Like, of any game, say on Steam, realistically, even with the Steam Deck inflating the numbers, the number of people who are going to be playing your game, or playing any game, using Linux, is probably less than 1% of the player base. Like, it's just not worth putting development time into, because you're not going to see a return. And this includes games that work on Linux. I mean, another big thing that Linux is going to have to deal with, and they're going to have to get over this, is not everything can be open source. I mean, let's be real. Anti-cheat programs work because people don't know the code to them, for the most part. Same with a lot of anti-cheat systems in games. They work because people don't know how they work. If you have an open source anti-cheat, well, congratulations, you just taped your house key right next to your front door, in clear view of anybody who wants in. Like, you've done a real good job there. Like, anti-cheats just simply cannot be open source. Large pay-for programs that have legitimate reason to worry about their competitors stealing their source code can't be open source because, well, their source code matters. Like, that's almost undoubtedly why Sony Vegas does not support or work on Linux. Is because, well, let's be real, they don't have the biggest market share. They kind of need to protect their source code. Like, which I know is a very capitalistic view of things. And I get the impression a lot of Linux users are very anti-capitalism. But that's just the reality of it. But I think I am going to save here, and I think I'm going to end the stream off, because I am tired. I'm just ranting and raving. It's about like 4 p.m. and I am hungry. So, thank you all very much for watching, and hopefully I shall see you back here tomorrow as I continue streaming for every day of the month of June. We're 10 days in, and I've not missed a stream yet. Hopefully I can keep that up for another 20 days. See you all tomorrow.